Hello, hello, hello. There are hundreds of reasons why contractors get business insurance from 3. But you're busy, so we'll stick to the top 3. First, 3 is comprehensive, so you get more protection from risks in a single policy.
Hey, Michael.
All alone,
Congratulations, you found Perscolas. We train people for careers in IT, careers that allow people to build amazing jobs and take care of themselves and their families going forward.
deepest truth about yourself.
All righty.
They delivered it to the wrong place, didn't they?
All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining today. Again, like I said, we do have Miss Chantal Freilich.
Yes, hold on, they delivered it to my office instead of here. Let me call them.
Hey, Rashad.
Hey. How you doing?
I'm sorry, guys, we're having a little issue. We'll be starting in a few minutes. Chantal had to take a phone call really quick. So we'll be starting as soon as she's done.
Theirs, that's just the projection here, so.
All right.
Hi.
So, okay, you guys, we are ready to get started. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Miss Chantal Freilich, and you have.
Come on. There you go. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me okay out in Zoom land?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So again, my name is Chantal Freilich. Hopefully most of y'all have heard me speak before. I know all of y'all. No, I don't think we've met. What's your name? Rashad. Rashad, very nice. So with Fidelity Natural Title, I do have to say, I have to remind myself that's my day job. That is actually how I get paid. So so as always, we're happy to help you with your contracts. Please remember us, when you're writing your files. We are full, absolutely service as far as we do residential, commercial. I work a lot with investors heavily. That's actually the part that makes my eyes sparkle. I'm also a broker. Don't practice with the public. I just do my own investments, help my family. So I come from your world. I've held a license for over 20 years. I've been on the title side. I can't believe it now for 12. Just about. I know, right? Time flies when you're having fun. But I tell you all that just so that you know I come from your world. This is my son's giving me a hard time and say like, Mom, is this all you ever talk about? I'm like, what else is this interesting? Like, and like seriously, it's like it is that interesting. As far as the new forms that are coming out, y'all, this is nothing to be afraid of. This is nothing to be nervous about. And in reality, if you think about it, we have to deal with new forms every couple of years anyway. So this is not.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was just asking you.
Okay, so this is not something that we really need to be worried about. And in all honesty, for those who have issues with and not understanding or truly up in arms about it, this is what I personally see as a culling of the herd. This is going to help those who shouldn't be in our industry not be in our industry anymore. And I really do believe that. You are in real estate because you lead through service. You help people with a servant's heart. That is why we are here. And I'm not saying everybody's like, I don't work for free. It's like, this is not about working for free. And if that really is the first thing on someone's mind, you're not going into this with the right mindset. So I'm going to go through everything and also how to talk to folks about this. But I will tell you, so that everything that I have came from our attorneys, Paul Muntime, who's amazing and wonderful. I think he's actually my comic soulmate because he likes dumb jokes and puns as much as I do. And what he has done is wonderful. But guess what came in the mail on Thursday? Your Texas Realtor magazine, which it very clearly, concisely, easy to read, does go through everything. So I'm telling y'all, this is the copy that you want to keep. Okay. So they did a wonderful job. And it was funny. So I'm laying up in bed. It's like, it was late. It wasn't quite 10, but I'm reading this and I had an agent call me because she needed help with something. She's like, so what are you doing? I'm like, my exciting life is I'm sitting in bed with Texas Realtor magazine. Like, it does make me think I need a more exciting life. But it was great. It's actually, it is. And it was, but it's really well done. So this is really well done. So yes, so definitely you want to keep this. And then I'm sure you're seeing the same things I'm seeing. There's a lot of misinformation. And I'll be honest with you, I'm really not sure why. I really don't understand why. But I swear I'm not making this up. There was a post on Facebook on one of the agent forums where this agent was complaining that a buyer refused to sign a buyer's rep agreement when they were asking to see her listing. It's like, exactly that, your face. Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're not required to have a buyer's rep to show your own listing. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That's out there. Like this is not how this works. This is not how any of this works. So I just wanted to make that abundantly clear. If it's your listing, you do not need to you need to have a buyer's rep. If it's an open house, you do not need to have a buyer's rep. So anyway, so that's said. On now, to emphasize how important it is to have a buyer's rep. They are not playing with this. It is from my understanding, what I've been told, they will have secret shoppers out there, just like they do with housing. They will have secret shoppers out there. And the fines are incredibly stiff. And it is per offense. So if you go and show 7 houses one afternoon without a buyer's rep, it will be the fine times 7. So well, I don't agree, so I'm not doing it. Yeah, no, this is not where you do that. You can, and I will say this as well. We have to not vent publicly and on Facebook and on social media. All of this still is, the DOJ got permission to keep investigating, is my understanding. If anything's changed in that, I'm not aware, so please forgive me if that has changed. But they are still investigating. They are taking everything that people are posting publicly, and they will use it to basically see, this is why. This is why. People saying that they're going to boycott, all these comments. So please, I know, it's that's just not the route to go down. And please understand that I feel that we as real estate professionals have an absolute viable and needed place in this industry. I can't tell you how many times that we get a call at title, and I've got a seller's like, yeah, I'm going to sell it to my neighbor, and can you fill out the contract and send it to us? It's like, oh, nope, this is why you hire an agent. This is why you hire an agent. So, and then they try to fill it out, and it's all kinds of not good. So, you can use, like you were talking about, you can use the short form, you can use the long form. You can put it in for just a specific property, your buyer's representation. You can use it just for a specific property. You can put it for a zip code. You can put it for Harris County, whatever it is that you want to put in there. Yeah. So,
State of Texas, code it all.
Yeah, you are. So, and just to also point out, when you say state of Texas, we are also required to be geographically knowledgeable for everything. Just want to throw that out there. One of the things that I need to remind everyone on this is that, so as you're talking to your buyer and you're explaining to them, before I even get into that, I want you to remove a particular word from your vocabulary: commission. Okay. Replace it with the word compensation. That is what you're going to ask. So as we all know, that MLS is no longer, and none of the MLSs are allowed to show what the compensation is, right? So, but the listing agent can put it on their business website. You can call. Somebody told me this morning, I was told I can't call the listing agent to ask him how much the commission is. I'm like, I'm not, I promise you, I'm not making this up. This was less than an hour and a half ago. Someone told me this when I was teaching this morning. So you can call them and ask. They can put it on their own website. But yes, when you're calling to ask them, you're not going to be calling saying, what is the commission? You're going to be asking, what is the compensation? Now, as you're talking to your buyer clients and explaining to them, so something that a lot of people say that they're hearing is like, well, I've never had to sign that before. And it's like, you're right. You didn't have to do this before. It wasn't required then. It is now, and we think that the entire world knows about this lawsuit because it's such a big thing in our lives. They're like, what? Who cares? They don't know. We can never assume what the general public knows and doesn't know. So it is our job to educate them and let them know, yes, what you never had to was not required before, but with the changes in the law, it is now required. And I cannot show you a property if I don't have this. So, and there's limited services as well, and limited, if it's just, you can put it in for it's just shown. And that's not new. There are brokerages where they have agents, that's all they do. They're called showing agents. They don't do anything else but open doors. So again, a lot of these things aren't new. It's just that we're having to have the paperwork for it now. So on your buyer's rep, when you're explaining to your client, you can say it's like, I'm always going to request in the negotiations for the seller to offer compensation for my services to help you. So in the event that that seller does not, per their listing agreement, then you as the buyer are then required per this agreement to pay my compensation. And we'll talk about how to present that in a moment. But in the course of talking to your client, they're like, oh my gosh, you know what? I love you, but I can't, 3% I can't. And it's like, I could do 2.5. Okay, great. We'll put in 2.5. You go along the way, you end up finding a house, the seller is offering 3%. You cannot accept that 3% if your buyer's rep says 2.5%. You then need to amend your buyer's rep to reflect the 3%. Same goes with, say, a BTSA. And so the buyer is going to have to be aware of it and sign off on it. Now, I will just say personally, when I was practicing, I always had an issue with a BTSA. It's like, in my mind, if the seller is willing to give up more cash, it should go to the buyer. And so I personally just would never accept a BTSA. And in all honesty, it's one of the reasons that this whole settlement thing came about, because there were agents that they were able to prove would only show homes based on that there was a BTSA, which again, bad karma. So anyway, so those are the key things that you need to be aware of with your buyer's rep agreement. And again, if you have a buyer's rep that says 24 hours and your buyer says, you know what, I want to put in an offer, you again now need to amend that buyer's representation to cover the amount of time that it's going to take to do all of that. So let's assume that, you know, I wouldn't even just put it in for like a week to negotiate that. You want to make sure that you're putting it in to encompass closing as well. So put it out, pad it a little bit in case you have extensions, that kind of thing. So any questions so far? Yeah. Okay, so everything goes into effect August 17th. It's going to be mandatory that you use all the new forms on this. Now, one of the things that I highly recommend, and a lot of people are, you know, some folks are not gonna like this. You should have a checklist anyway when you're starting a file. And I get it. Some of us have been around for a long time. It's like, I got this. I know what I need. You know, there's only so much our brain can hold. And have you ever done something where you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure I did this, but was it the last file that I did this? And so it is best practices to always have a checklist. So you're marking off, yes, it's done. Yes, it's done. We do that on the title side. And I've got escrow officers that have been doing this for 25 years. And for every file, there's still a checklist, making sure, you know, so there's no 11th hour surprises. Redo your checklist, make sure that you're putting in all the new files, and put in your deadline dates. It's, you know, just like you do for your option period. It is really easy for all of a sudden you look up, you're like, oh my God, a week has passed. You know, those kinds of things. So you want to make sure that on your checklist, you're putting in the expiration date on it, so that if you need to extend, you know, to do that. Here we go. Awesome. Yes, please. Thank you. And so, where was I? Hold on. I'm really bad about.
Well, you want to check.
See what I mean about, yeah.
They don't take it.
Yeah, it's okay. So your expiration on your checklist. Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about is as agents, we always, unless it's your mom, you're always doing a listing presentation, right? That's the only one, unless you're practicing with your mom, but yeah, that's the only time you may not do a listing presentation, but we're all used to doing a listing presentation. Buyer presentations have been around forever, but no one ever uses them, right? And so you are now having to shift your business and treat your buyers just like you would a listing opportunity. You're going to have to show this is what I do. Especially when you're asking a buyer who's normally used to not having to worry about, that percentage. Show this is why you need representation. So you can have, and there is a list, it's on Breakthrough Broker, which I'm pretty sure you all have access to. And I've seen this has been around forever. Here's a list of 90 things that I do to serve you as your agent, right? That's been around forever. I've seen 90, I've seen 120, it's whatever you want it to be. Now, you really need to make that part of your buyer presentation. Now, I'm not saying you're just gonna be like, here's a list of 90 things. There you go. And because they're gonna scan over, they're really not going to, it's not gonna sink in what it is. And for every single one of those things, there's probably a subset of 10 steps that it takes to do that one thing. They don't know that. So what I would do, and when I'm presenting, is thank you. Is your name? Yeah. Sí. Gracias. Yo no sé quién es ese. No hay nadie en mi oficina que tiene ese nombre.
Pero yo cuando llegué, le dije aquí es para aquí, dije, sí, pásame por me café. Me hubieran dicho, no es de aquí, me hubiera fijado.
Gracias. So, on that list, I would go through and say, these are all the steps that it entails for this. Now, like I said, I've seen that around, but there was one thing that was presented, and it actually came from Tom Ferry, and his conference is coming up at the end of this month. I will send you all a link. If you can go, I would go. It is 3 days, the Success Summit. It is 100,000 in revenue in 100 days. And this is actual items that will make you money, rubber meets the road. And there's a reason why people pay him thousands per month to be their coach. I mean, he's amazing. Anyway, Tom Ferry. Oh yeah, he's got clients around the world. Spain. I mean, he is, and it's really, I will tell you this, we get coaching from him since he created this relationship with Fidelity. And every time I get off a coaching call with him, I'm like, I'm invincible. I can do anything. Mm-hmm. And it's true. I can. So anyway, I digress. But another point that he brought up, which I was like, this is powerful. It is a list of 27 items in the contract that I'm going to negotiate on your behalf. When you show someone that, they're going to be like, I'm sorry, what? There are 27 different points in a contract that need to be negotiated. Oh my gosh, yes, I need somebody. I need someone to help me with this. So that is a huge part of that. Let me get up here. So let's get to okay, this we've got the listing agreement here. Now, one thing I want to say before I start on this, on your buyer's representation agreement, please make sure that you're filling in the protection date period. And that's a lot. I've heard from a lot of agents, oh, I've never filled that out. I've never filled that out and say, and yeah, I know, yeah. But I don't know, I was shocked. I know, I was shocked.
It's a blank line on that form that something should be there.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Warren. Thank
That's
you.
what I'm saying.
That's there, I was just about to say, words are important, details are important. There should not be a blank on any contract.
Yeah.
It is, if it is not applicable, put in NA, put in NA. So, anyway, I'm so glad you said. So I feel like such a Karen sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, it's just not right. And it's like, but no, it's there for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a contract. It's there for a reason. So, exactly. So on your listing agreements, what has changed is paragraph 5, broker compensation. This is where the seller can choose A or B. So A is going to be when they're offering compensation to a cooperating broker. B is when they are not. Okay, so this is where this is, plain English for everybody to be able to see. Now, note on here, this is separate from seller contributions. Okay, so you will see that. And then paragraph 11F of the listing agreement is going to talk about seller contributions. Okay. Any questions on that? How's everybody in Zoom land? Everything okay with that? Okay, so that's the biggest thing. Let's see, we're gonna go to so, and one thing I do want to talk about, like they show here 8 is reserved. TAR came out with all of this, Texas Association of Realtors came out with this to basically meet the August 17th deadline. Okay, we're not going to see anything from Trek until soonest January of 2025. Broker lawyer meeting will, will have to meet. They'll have their recommendations, their reviews, all of that. So we're not going to see anything.
So I have a question, if I may interject.
Oh, absolutely.
That's how my money works.
Please.
So let's actually go to the 1 to 4. And on the very bottom, right there with when you talk about your brokerage, right there's a line, I know, for commission. So until they put the new form out, or have they already put the new form out, do we leave that blank?
You cannot use page 10 of the contracts to put in compensation.
Right, so right now, the question is, have the contracts been revised yet, or coming soon?
I don't think you can use that. I don't think the contract has been revised. So not that I'm aware of.
So we need to keep in our mind.
Yeah.
Forefront to leave that blank.
Yeah, so, and I pull up on zip forms and see what they currently have. Because none of this is mandatory until the 17th. I haven't pulled up I haven't written a contract, because I'm not doing anything right now. But what they are gonna have is the compensation between brokers. And so that's what you're gonna show. So for title, you're going to have a CDA from the listing agent and a CDA from, from the selling agent, just like normal. If you want, you can send over a copy of the commissions as well, just to let title know up front. I don't know why, but we have an issue getting CDAs from people, and we'll have a CDA show up after closing.
Oh, I can't believe it, but okay.
But it's no, I mean, this is terrible. So it's like we have, especially on the listing side, we have zero idea. I mean, like we have no access to your listing agreement. We have no idea what your agreement is with your seller. And we had a situation where we kept asking for the CDA, we kept asking for the CDA, no response. So we just put in 3% for the listing side. Listing side was charging 4%.
Oh, wow.
And they came like a week after closing, they're like, hey, we got the check, it's wrong, it's supposed to be 4%. Oh, I know, I didn't see CDA, my bad. And we're like, but it's like, we've already dispersed, you're gonna have to go to your client and ask for that additional 1%.
Right.
Because we have, yeah.
You know, I've never not sent my CDA in, because I figured that's how I get.
It is.
To send it the day I need to send it, and I send it the next day.
Yeah.
But to wait till. much
So
less the day
once,
upload, but
once it's dispersed, it's done. So, let's see here. So the deadlines that went through, and we're past several of them. So on June 24th is when these new forms went into effect. They weren't mandatory, but they went into effect. On July 9th, MLS added the concessions field in Matrix. So that way, like I said, that's different from compensation. Okay. So on August 16th, compensation will be removed from MLS. So you will no longer see that in MLS.
Okay.
On August 17th, the new MLS policy takes into effect. August 17th, all active listings and active buyers rep agreements need to be amended with a disclosure amendment. So go ahead.
So if I already have buyer reps before this, I just need to.
You
can
need
I
to
just
amend
send
them.
a new one, or do I have to-
You can create a new one, or you can amend the old one. So it's,
As long as they go back and sign the new one.
yes, and it's probably cleaner just
That's what I
to,
think.
yeah, just to do a new one. Your listing agreements will also have to be amended. So if you have an old listing agreement, you want to make sure you're amending it reflecting the seller's choices on compensation. So, and then as of August 17th, you'll no longer be able to use page 10 of the contracts to put in the compensation. Okay. Okay.
So, as you all know,
Mhm.
a lot of the brokerages use dot loops. So has dot loops done these changes yet? Are you aware of that?
They should be, from what my understanding is that they are, I don't use dot loop, I use zip forms, so I'm not.
Keep
Girl,
sending
you gotta
them.
come over to 2024.
I keep saying,
Yeah.
Do what I can.
Sending my little dot loop.
Dot loop is where it's happening.
No, that Keller Williams, that's all I do.
Yeah, well, the brokerages use them, so since I'm out by myself,
That just happened.
and yeah, I mean, and you know, I wish I was doing investments every month, but
That's another training.
yes, so.
Don't carry nothing heavy. Don't carry anything heavy more than 35.
Oh, have some hot lasagna now. It's delicious. So I went back to the amendment to the representation. So this is what you can use. I mean, he pretty much has everything highlighted on this. So now here, I just want you to see on the very last thing, it's where it says the broker is prohibited from receiving any compensations that exceeds the amount stated in the representation agreement. So this is where this is where you would have to change it. They do have a, this is where they just showed an example of the old cooperation, the old listing agreement. They are taking out, you remember how the old agreement, it says MLS participants, and this is how much we're paying non-MLS. That's completely gone. Because that's one of the key points of the lawsuit was that was the, I guess, the collusion. Okay. So then here is, this is the listing agreement. This is the part that we just went over. All right, go on. See. So on here, this is where they're talking about that it is that they will give all information and offers to everyone. you know, all brokers, they don't have to be a part of MLS. And F is where they're talking about, that the seller does or does not authorize the agent to disclose that they're open to concessions.
What page is that?
This is 7-11, yes. It says paragraph 11 F. Yeah.
Wow.
And
So, I'll just keep going.
No, no, keep going, we have another form left, there it is, 7-11.
Yeah.
7-11.
So any questions so far? Like I said, I mean, it really isn't to me. I think it's more fear that's making people feel this, because to me, it's really just some simple tweaks that they're doing here. Same. Same. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry? Oh, I'm good. I'm gonna be good. It's tempting me. Funny the things that you're like, if I'm gonna be bad, it's gonna be very, very good. So I'm saving myself. Me, it's very, very good.
Bad, honey, whatever.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so here is the amendment to your listing agreement. So this is where you would make those changes. If you're gonna keep using your existing listing agreement and not execute a new one. So the choice is really, it's really yours of what you want to do. Okay. So here is the example of the short form. Okay. And so this, do it now? So, and you use, so the this is, and oh, so I don't know, you were here when I showed this? Oh, so, oh, okay, yeah, this really does help a lot, because I did look at this, I'm like, this makes it so much simpler. So, so you have the short form, you know, and again, it explains intermediary, you know, you want to, you know, and here's the thing that I'm always explained to when I was a practicing agent, I would always explain to my buyers. It's like, in the state of Texas, I either work for you or I work for the seller. If I work for the seller, I can only facilitate, I cannot advise you. If you want my expertise, my advice, and for my fiduciary duty to be owed to you, then you hire me as your representative. Okay. So, again, and I know you said that you would rather use the short form. I mean, I kind of want the long form. Everything spelled out. I have to redo things. So on the long form, this is where you need to pay close attention to is paragraph 7A. And this is the long, yeah, that's the long form. 7A, that's long. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And additional compensation for, and this specifically talks about construction service providers. Your protection period, that's make sure that you put this down. If you are the procuring clause, And I mean, you all know there is what's on paper and then there's reality.
Yeah.
And yes, I showed you the house. I did all the negotiating. I did all of that. And now you've got, cousin Fred down as your agent. I have every right to demand payment. And then you have social media. Can you believe my agent is suing me to pay, that she gets paid instead of my cousin Fred? And so it's up to you. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? So that's unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But that choice is up to you. But I just I don't want to tell somebody you have a protection period, you are golden, you're fine. There are some people that unfortunately will not honor us or their agreements. And if you to decide, is it worth? Was it worth them slamming you on social media?
I'll slap that.
Yeah, that it's, anyway, I'm just, sometimes it's, and you do hope that those that when they're putting out there, those around you, like, they did all the work and then you brought in your cousin at the last minute. That's there's, like I said, there's technical and on paper, and then there's reality. So on G, this is where it's talking about that the client authorizes the broker to instruct the closing agent. This is what the compensation is. So, but you do have to let the title company know, because we don't. Yeah, we have.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
May you repeat that?
So you have to let the title company know, like what compensation is. So, and again,
I just have to do it.
yeah, it's the soonest that you can do it, the better, but most definitely before closing, most definitely before disbursement. And again, everything is initial, by broker and client. Now, here is an example of the amendment to the buyer's rep. So again, if you have an existing one that's prior to August 17th, this is where you're going to amend it. And this is if you have negotiated, say 2.5 or whatever, but the seller's offering 3. This, you absolutely need to make sure that you get this signed. Okay. So compensation between broker and owner. So this is where, just like normal, what we have currently, this is what you can send to the title company prior to closing. If you're not doing a CDA, or if your CDA, there's some companies where you have to, request your CDA from the brokerage, and it may take a bit of turnaround time. But this way, so that you can give an accurate either percentage or flat fee to the title company, so you can get your prelim.
My pettiness wanna jump in so bad.
Oh, go ahead. Ooh, we love Patty. Come sit next to me. Come sit next to me.
Broker and seller, because every other documentation we have is seller buyer.
Yeah.
We never use the term owner.
Yeah.
You're just gonna confuse these new agents world. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what their whole argument is about anyway, that it seems overwhelming because the terminology changed, when in fact it's not. You just have to,
They made it,
Yeah, they
and
say
that's
seller.
the unfortunate part, that, well, there is, okay, so like, remember I was talking about words are important? There is a difference sometimes between owner and seller.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But, and that's the part that was so frustrating, that, well, and the part that's so frustrating is that all this was done to quote unquote protect the consumer. And this to, it just seems to have,
More work for us.
well, it's not just that. There is gonna be a section of the public that they're not gonna, be able to, they're gonna feel that they cannot compensate, their agent. That's gonna happen where they're gonna be paired with a seller who is not going to compensate for their agent, for the buyer's agent. That person's gonna go unrepresented. Something's gonna happen after the fact. There's gonna be lawsuits. It's just, it's extremely unfortunate. It really is. Now, one of the things that, and this was back in the day when I was a practicing agent, one of the things I would tell my sellers is you want a buyer to have representation. It's about risk mitigation. You want to minimize as much as possible the possibility of that buyer coming back after the fact and say, well, I didn't know. No one told me. I didn't have someone. I thought you were going to, it's like, my fiduciary duty is owed to my seller. I am not your advisor. I'm not your counsel. I'm there just to facilitate your part of it. But I protect my fiduciary duties owed to my client, which is the seller. So, here. So now here is your addendum regarding the broker's fees. So this pretty much the same means like, okay, fees are paid in this county. This is other brokers' fees, and this is for the listing broker shall pay as contained in a separate written compensation agreement between listing broker and other broker. There is that form as well. The seller shall pay, and it basically whatever the situation, the terms are of the negotiations, that's what you fill in here.
Yeah, in the short form, you would use this if you negotiate your fee from 3% to 2.5. You're gonna amend it.
Yeah, exactly. One of the biggest things on all of these forms that they're adding, the verbiage that they're adding is stating that right here, not set by law and fully negotiable.
Yeah.
They're putting that in everything. Yeah, and it's always been the truth. Yeah. So this is between brokers. This is what the cooperating broker can send to title to say, hey, this is what I'm getting paid if they're sending it in before their CDA.
So if I have a headache out of the client, I can go back and amend what I'm talking about.
Yeah. They gotta sign it. They have to sign it. Yeah. What did someone, I had a friend of mine says he told a client that he was gonna add aggravation fee. And he was serious. He was totally serious.
If you're going to aggravate me and you have the power to go back and say, hey, I'm gonna change your salary.
Yeah.
It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's really not.
So the buyer cannot go and change this agreement without you agree. Both people would have to agree. So it is not completely, what's the word I'm looking
Black and
for?
white.
Well, no, it's not, what's I can't even think of the word. What's my brain? But no, everything always has to be an agreement. All parties need to sign, everyone, it's full disclosure for everyone. So when you're talking to your buyers, they don't understand everything that you do. A lot of what you do is muscle memory, and you do it without thinking, and it is having to let them know it's like, this is everything that went into it. Is communicating with your lender. It is coordinating inspections, contractors, the showings. It is researching, taxes and insurance. that is something that I know I've been harping on this for a while, so if some of you have heard me kind of go off on this, please understand, but I think it's hugely important.
Now they just have to be able to tell what their work is,
Yeah.
what they actually
It
do. If you're a realtor that don't know what you actually do, then now's the time to find out, because you're gonna need to know in order to
Yeah,
make these.
otherwise you'd be looking for a job.
Right?
Yeah.
They should be looking for-
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking about. This is not a bad thing. A culling of a herd is not a bad thing. So something I've been harping at, and this is something a good, educated, aware agent is aware of, the rising cost of insurance. It
Yep.
is affecting
All
everybody,
things.
all things. It is affecting your traditional buy and sell. It is affecting your investors. It is affecting commercial. It is affecting everything. In fact, I was talking to one of my developers, and he's about to close out a development that he did. So now he's looking for other land. And he's not particular to any one part of town. I'm like, you need to check what the insurance is in that particular area. I was talking to an insurance person I work with. We both have a lot of mutual investor clients. She said, do not even let anyone look in Galena Park at all. And she said, it's because of the crime. She said, insurance companies are taking a much harder look. She had we had a mutual client, had a house there for quite a bit. His insurance went from $2,500 a year to $9,000 a year. And he told her, I'm sorry, Janice. He's like, I'm paying off what little I owe on this house, and I'm going without insurance. Cause he's like, there's no way you can't count for everything. Yeah. It was crazy. So, anyway, so it's those kinds of things. It's, and again, we kind of, I don't think just because we've been doing it for so long and it's like, oh yeah, not a big deal. It is a big deal. It is a huge deal when you don't know how, and you don't know where to turn, or you don't know what you don't know. So yes, we need to toot our horns. So let's see here. Okay, so the representation disclosure, that if, and I'm so happy, to see this, because there was a time long ago that that we didn't have this. When you have someone that says, like, so you're on the listing side and buyer has no representation, you're letting them know, making sure that they understand the undersigned person acknowledges there is no agency relationship with a broker as of the date of this disclosure. The license holder must treat other party to a transaction honestly and fairly. However, the duty to their client is primary. This is what we were talking about.
So basically.
So if you've got, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, because you do still have people that don't want real estate.
Oh, yeah.
And my brother-in-law bought a house was years ago, but he's like, oh, I didn't need it. Just, talk to the seller, and we work things out. I'm like, okay, I don't think you be doing that now. Probably shouldn't have did it back then, but he did. But so that's his mindset. Yeah. So
I had an agent bring me it's not a deal, but a former client of hers bought a piece of property, and he's now looking to sell it. He used a quitclaim deed when he bought it. And it's like, oh man, this isn't worth the paper it's written on. And he is the owner. That is a non-insurable piece of property. And what was really funny, the guy that he bought it from where he bought it from, they also did a quitclaim deed, and he filled it out in the reverse. He was the buyer, but the way he filled it out, it was as if he was granting the quitclaim deed. It's like, you've completely revert, and they're gonna have to go back and have everything replaced with general warranty deeds. And it's a
I thought
mess.
quit claim deeds were more of like family,
Quick claim deeds are not,
it was like, I thought it was like,
nope,
my sister owned this property.
nope, you should not ever use that. Cause all a quick claim deed is saying is that I'm giving you my interest in this property. You have no idea if someone else had interest in that
Oh,
property.
got you. Okay.
So, and it could be like, she's like, yeah, I'm the only person. You have no idea that someone had a claim on her.
Right.
And so, yeah, it is no bueno. We
Yeah,
do
I
not.
never thought that was a form of transfer.
Yeah, you don't ever want to use those. You don't ever want to use those.
I had
So,
my own property. It was a relative I was talking about.
uh-huh. Yeah, you still want to use either general warranty deed or special warranty deed. And you still want to have an
Everything
abstract
clean.
done. You want to make sure that because it's making sure there are no breaks in the chain of title, but also making sure there are not just any liens attached to the property, but liens attached to that person. So you don't want to have a property and all of a sudden comes in and somebody says, I've got interest in that. So anyway, they're making sure that on the general information and notice to buyers and sellers, which is something we've always had, is highlighting compensation. And it's the definition of, and again, they're making sure that it's not set by law and fully negotiable. That's one of the main purposes for some of these changes. They're making sure that verbiage is in everything. So, hey there, how are you? You brought your mini me.
Hey, how are you?
Is that you? So,
Yeah.
yeah. Awesome. You hungry?
Yeah, but this is really hard on all these forms and I'm gonna ask you real quick. I want to get out.
Sure. Well, I mean, if you're okay with asking a question, because they may have a question that.
Well, I was basically talking about the quick claim deed.
Oh, yeah,
But no, I think this is awesome information. As far as, going over the forms.
yeah,
For me, I think it's just making sure that the buyers that I have now, I want to go back and
yeah.
give them the new form. So I don't have to worry about anything.
Yeah. So on the seller's authorization to disclose and advertise certain information, it's kind of the same as what we've had before. But again, it's talking about like, okay, so the seller knows, man, like, I know the carpet upstairs is shot, we're gonna do 2,000, but it also, it's letting the broker have discretion as to when that is. Yeah, depending on, the situation. A lot of times I'm not throwing that out there at the beginning. I'm keeping that as my next card to play if I need it. It's the same thing as like the seller's like, I could leave the refrigerator. Okay, great. Let's hold that back. Let's see how negotiations come through and we can use that as a, and anything else after that?
So we need to change all of our CDAs to read compensation instead of commissions as well?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I see that on here.
Yeah.
Okay, on it.
Yeah, so this is an example. I should have redacted Susan's name.
Sorry, change all of the CDAs
Yeah.
and commissions to compensation.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I know, I was starting around.
No, sir, and I- so I don't want.
No more issue than what we got in the first place.
Like by August.
That's next Saturday, so we need to do it by Friday, the
Yeah.
16th.
I mean, all it is just go in there and
Delete, delete, delete.
it's like, just go in like your
Gotta train
template,
your
whatever.
Have to find and replace.
No, you can't take your form and just be like,
Have to find and replace.
So yeah, you can do one.
I'm like, delete. This is how I go through life. I tell myself, it's not bad. It's okay. It's okay. She's over there going, you're not the one that has to do it.
No, right? And look, and cause I would have turned around and shame when I saw y'all heard, I'm like, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up another thing here. So, hold on.
We haven't had to see.
I because like, look, look at I need to go see if I got that in the mail. I must have that in the mail that lady.
It came in on Thursday.
past-
Yeah, this past
last week.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll save that. I'll save that.
Yeah, it's, I was very happy to see how well they did that. They did a good job. You can take a look at mine.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm just looking at the front, so I know this one.
Yeah. But, oh, and, okay, so we're not going over this just because it doesn't do a title. There are changes to the leasing side as well. So,
Maintenance to the leasing.
yeah. So let's see here. Center. Come on.
They broke everything down.
I'm gonna go home and find mine.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. Changes to leasing and property management for. Every time I say I'm gonna write out doing leases, somebody always wanna.
And what else we need, guys? The people on Zoom are sitting there looking at us like, what?
Hold on. I'm gonna change our thing. Hold on. Share. Okay, so this is Breakthrough Broker. And you'll go to Marketing Center. You see where Marketing Center is right there. And then you go to presentations and go to buyer presentations. And then this has various ones that you can choose from.
Okay, you said go to marketing presentation.
Yeah, Marketing Center. And then you go to presentations
Right.
and then buyer. Yeah, buyer presentation. And so there's, and you can, let's see what this said. What this one is. There you go. This one is, I'm gonna get you one that's on the basic. Let's see. So presentation title is there, go through. Oh, one of the things that, and you made a very good point. It's like, you really do need to have your professional resume. I would flesh out your Facebook page, your business page, which is fine, but you are a professional. You should be on LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn should show, because that when I look at when I'm vetting somebody, you know, whether it is a real estate, you know, prospect for me, or a lender, or any professional, you know, whether it's an attorney, you know, a financial advisor, I looked at LinkedIn. I look at LinkedIn, I look at their education, I look at, you know, what their experience is. I also look at their community service. So I think that's hugely important on LinkedIn. It's like, this is where you see where people give back. You know, ask for recommendations, you know, endorsements from other professionals, 100%. So, and that needs to be in your, you know, your list, your buyer's presentation. It is going to be everything about, you know, what buyers frequently ask questions, what the buyer needs. And then you follow it up with your, what it is that you bring to the deal. Yeah, you're right. But flesh out your LinkedIn, your experience and your, in your community service, because you all do so much for the community. I know that. And that to me, it tells someone's character. I think a lot of agencies, they just, because I look at stuff and they're like, nothing's been posted for like 4 years or something like that. It's like, and so we are professionals. We are professionals and we need to act like professionals. That means we act like it, we dress like it, you know. So, let me see.
You know what, I'm not gonna lie, I should. I'm not gonna lie, because I compared it to my broker, and I compared it to my broker, he had a professional photo bond. This man threw an event yesterday, and he was in jeans and a t-shirt, and I was like, I can't wait for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. I
think we really do have a broker on Davis that.
Okay. Yeah. So it is, no, I'm just gonna, no, I totally agree with you. I do not judge, it's not my place, but I do assess. I do assess. And there was a young woman in who I care about her. And you know, I was so disappointed. Her professional picture, I'm not kidding, a V cut down to here, like completely open to here. And I'm like, oh, this is not, you know, if you want to be taken as a professional, what are you selling? And it was so inappropriate. And she's a beautiful girl, but it's like, and yeah, and
in our industry, that's still.
And unfortunately, actually, I tell you, no. Let me correct you. There's a small portion that are selling. The rest of them are just playing the role.
Oh yeah, I know.
One of my top clients who he's been my client for 12 years since I've been in title. His listings are, because he's got a lot of high-end builders, they're $4 and $5 million listings. And he and his wife laugh because she's like, we'll see these at our open houses. These little agents come up and I've got the purse, I've got the shoes, and they preen in front of the house and they do the video, and they're like, they're listing.
Man, I'm trying to 50, he's 23, he's a producer, all that stuff. On the internet just yesterday, he just sold a $3.4 million house in Cypress, right? That's all great until you go back there and see that his license has been inactive since 2003.
Oh my
Really?
God.
Yes, license inactive, ain't been with no brokers. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? On the internet, you're selling, but when you go back there.
Did he really sell it?
I don't know, because he's inactive. There's no way that he can.
Wow.
Saw this lady the other day, and she was talking about one of her neighbors was an agent, and she didn't need an agent because she was an agent. I said, well, can you just let me, I want to check and see if she's even active. And that was my first question. But right before that, I said, oh, she's been sick a while. I'm like,
And so what I also realize, a lot of people on the internet is just like you said, it's fake. And I'm like,
Yeah, oh, I had a friend of mine said that, he was on like this, I don't know, lender put on like this little fishing trip, and it was, like 5 guys, and he's like, one guy's back there, oh yeah, you did this and do that. Bill said he went home and was like, oh, dude, you're doing nothing. It's like, anyway, hold on, let me share this for our folks at home. Hold on.
And they don't, I think some of them just don't, they don't think that
they
people
don't think
know.
that people are gonna back check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, people will check, but you know.
This is so funny. Well, I don't know, maybe I should wait till we're not.
Recording. I know. Oh yeah, you can't share this with anybody, all the trash I'm talking, sorry.
Yeah.
Y'all have to love me the way I am, okay?
Me too,
Sorry.
'cause trust me, I am what.
Oh, I've turned into Cloris Leachman. I've gotten to that age where it's like, it's just gonna come out. So this is the 27 terms of negotiation. And this is the kind of stuff that it's like when you hand this to a buyer and they're like, wait, what?
Oh, that's.
Yeah, no, that's I'll send this to y'all. So yeah, this is, I don't think this is in Breakthrough Broker, but the 90 ways should be in Breakthrough Broker.
Do they have all those techniques, different checklists and break?
Yes, they do have all different kinds of checklists. So, but again, like I said, make sure you're adding all the new forms to your checklist to make sure that you're not forgetting and and especially with just now that you have to amend something every time you make it, there's a change. You definitely want to make sure that you're checking that box on your when you're amending something. But honestly, like, do you see why I say it's not that big of a deal?
It really is.
not.
It
It's a little bit like.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
We went through changes, what, not too, well, a few years back.
gonna be changes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
every 2 years, it's gonna change.
And it's just educating our clients. And I know, forgive me for those of y'all who've heard me say this before. The most important thing when we're talking to our clients, whether it's buyer or seller, is managing their expectations up front. This falls right into that, to where it's like, yes, like I said before, I know you didn't have to sign for, that's because it wasn't required, and now it is required. And this is, as long as they know and they feel that, and they should honestly feel this. It is all about, full disclosure. Unfortunately, there was some, bad apples, in the barrel in the past, and this is why. This is, and you can tell them, I've always worked like this. Now I just have to have it in writing.
So it's gonna be as big as you make it.
Yeah.
Really, honestly. So it's like looking at all these papers, it's like, first of all, half the people that I send this stuff to, they don't read it.
They don't.
The only portion that they look at is, you charging me 6%?
Right.
That's the only thing.
Yeah.
Everything else is, that's not the.
I think when they sign out their form, they don't want to see how much from my.
So,
Like, you know how they have the breakdown sheet when you have to sign template for closing? I have never had a client look at that piece of paper. Like, they just like. I'm like.
until it pops up, they're like, assigned what?
Yeah.
So, and I've heard this before, but I love Tom Ferry's, the graphic that he gave us, when we were talking about all this happening. And so, like I said, he coaches, agents across the country, and he was showing us some of the top, like one of his really fancy clients out in California, where they basically gave clients a choice. These are the different levels of service I provide. You had standard, you had recommended, and you had, the, deluxe, and it was 5%, 6%, 10%. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and tear it off. And it's like, but everybody likes choices.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is, yeah, it is, it's like, no, yeah, you get, okay, good. It's like with kids. I don't know. Did you ever
Did you ever hear of it was a parenting, it was parenting coaching like called Love and Logic. This was a long time ago. It was like, I mean, Ben was little, so like over 20 years ago. But it was this doctor. You're not as old as I am. So, but Love and Logic was, it was coaching for parents that was about teaching your kids how to live through the consequences of their choice by giving them choices when they were young that weren't life threatening, like when they would, like it would be when they're in high school. But it is, you manage the choices. It's like, you can do, you know, it's not like you can choose between this and that. Like, no, these are the choices that you have. But the key was, number one, letting the consequences of those choices. And I will say this, he said what was absolutely crucial, he goes, it doesn't work otherwise, to have empathy while that person is living through the consequences of that choice. So, because if you don't have empathy, it doesn't work. It just creates resentment. But anyway, so it's just, and unfortunately with our clients, we do have to give them the choices, but also explain, you know, ahead of time, this is what happens, you know, these are the, I don't want to say, well, the consequences of this choice is this, consequence of that choice is this. I was counseling an investor of mine this morning, and one of the issues that they're having is quality control with the contractors. And I told him, I said, you know, I said, number one, I would not finish paying off a contractor until an inspection is done. No, and in their contract is, because you have a problem of finishing on time, right? And then finishing with the work well done. So the contract needs to read, if you finish early, there's a bonus. Like even if it's a day early, there's a bonus contingent on it passing an inspection. Because I am not going to chase you down and you're not going to get paid if it doesn't pass, if it's not up to code, if it doesn't pass inspection. And because he's been having a huge issue with issues after the fact. And I told him, I was like, you know, okay, yes, it's $500, whatever it is going to be for you to get that inspection. Better to deal with it now. You're gonna be dealing it with on the buyer's inspection. So anyway, so hopefully he says he's gonna make the changes. We'll see. Hopefully that helps. But it's the same thing as explaining to that contractor, you have a choice, you know, but the inspection is gonna happen either way. But anyway, any questions? I think I'm all. Hmm?
All right. Does anyone have any questions for Chantal on Zoom?
On this lasagna though. I'll wait.
So sad. What is favorite? You better be here. So they weren't here tonight, so I called the place. I was like, I've been working with them at least for 10 years. First time. The poor woman took it to my office. And the guy's like, well, it's supposed to be there. It's at 2600. And my office calls me and he's like, well, it's the same complex. I'm like, ew, it's not the same complex.
So HAR they used to, probably they use no more.
Yeah, well, their prices went up.
But it was this situation where the food arrived so late.
Yeah, this is the first time that I've ever had it. Not, that's one thing I always tell them. It's like, you're so dependable. That's what I need. Yeah.
It was always late. Always.
Really?
Yeah, always.
Mine were, yeah, this is the first time I've ever had an issue.
Is there no questions?
So no questions
I'm that
in
good.
Zoom land?
Yeah.
Well, you, there.
Everybody have like unmute so they can ask questions.
So Michael, I was telling him, this came out on Thursday. This is what they absolutely, if there's any one that they need to keep, it's this one. It goes through this really well. And then Shay, I'll send you all this stuff so that you can send them out to folks. Okay, awesome.
I came in first. This.
I think, yeah, no, that's it.
All right, well, thank y'all so much for joining. That concludes our training today. We will see y'all next week. We have 2 trainings happening next week as well. Look in the group me on Friday to find out who will be here. All right, we
And
will see y'all later.
please don't forget Fidelity National Title when you're writing your contracts.
Don't forget.
Don't forget. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.
She was coming out the elevator. Was there a thing?
Oh, look, they changed. Look how cute that is. It's a little man leaving. I've never seen that before. Usually it's just a button. Well, that's the button.
What was your question, Joyce?
I was over here at the doctor with my mom. I was trying to see, there was something about the short form and the long form regarding the contract with the clients after the 17th. Was there something about not being able to use the short form?
School is not technically in yet.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. It was too much chatter in here. You mind repeating?
I said, I know she had touched on using the short form and the long form regarding the representation for the client. Did she say that the short form won't be allowed to be used, or it could be used?
Yes, you can use the short form.
Okay.
Hey, Joyce.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Alrighty, any other questions? All right, if not, we're gonna close this thing out. Y'all be safe out there.